has already been bullied. So we have to come up with ways that can try prevent the whole bullying from taking place.
Concerning the laws, I would like to make a quick note of this. Kenya has been working on the Computer and Cyber Crimes Bill of 2016, which was enacted in April 2017. Now, Section 14 of the Act criminalizes cyber stalking and cyber bullying. These offenses attract a penalty of 10 years imprisonment and or a fine of 20 million shillings. That is according to the bill that was input there. Yes. And we have things to do with factors that make cyberbullying to become very hazardous, because it leads to anxiety, depression, even suicide. We've had a story of a lady who committed suicide in Tanzania. Yes. How then can we ensure that we are safe? The laws are there, but cyberbullying is still existing. How then do we ensure that we are safe?
Okay, one thing I would like to say is, okay, what is the purpose of the bill if it is not being acted upon? Number one thing that legislators need to do, or authorities in charge need to do, they need to take this seriously. Talking of that lady, she's called Brenda Kini. She killed herself in Kenya, but she was a Tanzanian.
Okay.
She had reported this case of her ex-boyfriend defiling her daughter, and when she went to tell people about it, they did not believe her. Yeah, and it ended up with her committing suicide because it was so tragic. And even after she committed suicide, when she went to this social media, because she opted to use social media as a platform, the people now started saying that she's a con woman and she's only doing this for money. It ended up taking her life. So one thing that we should do, number one, is we should act upon. Don't just make a law and say that it is there, but act upon it. People should know that this is serious and it's causing a lot of harm in the society, and people should be serious about it.
But the question that comes, when we have problems in the society, should we go to social media? Should we report them to social media? We have Facebook accounts, we have Twitter, we have WhatsApp. In fact, there are WhatsApp groups that have been created specifically for gossip. People just post their things there. Is social media the solution to our problems? Should we post them?
If you ask me, the first line of defense in cyberbullying is at personal level. First of all, when you are being cyberbullied by an individual, this is an individual that wants to take pride in your misery. So the first thing you should do, don't respond. Don't give that person the joy of seeing you miserable. Don't respond. Then you should also take advantage of the tech tools that are available. You can block an individual. You know the various tools to take care of issues like this. Then even parents, you should try listen to what your children have to say, like concerning cyberbullying. Then once a child of yours approaches you on cyberbullying, you should approach this case rationally. You know, cyberbullying, okay, your child was embarrassed by this situation. So as a parent, if you are to rush making this public, might worsen the situation. Your child was embarrassed over something, then you make it public. Now the whole world knows it. Yes. So you should also, as a parent, take a rational approach about it. Be discreet when solving it. Then also try to boost your child's self-esteem.
But then concerning children, as you have mentioned, there is a research that was done by the ISIF Foundation. And the research came out that over half of adolescents and teenagers have been bullied online, and about the same number have engaged in cyberbullying. More than 1 in 3 young people have experienced cyber threats online. Another research says that well over half of young people do not tell their parents when cyberbullying occurs. So the question that puts it, that we have, if you're talking about teenagers, first of all, how do they get online? Second of all, what is the age that someone should be given for them to be given a phone? If at all you're talking about cyberbullying, then the phones should be restricted to the kids so that they don't get that access. What age should we give phones to our children and emails?
I don't think we should restrict on the age. Instead, we should teach our children on the possibility of cyberbullying. You should tell your child that at one point somebody might text you to try to tell you how ugly you are, but I want to know that you are very beautiful. There are people who are mean out there who would want to demean you, so that after you've prepared your child like that, when your child experiences this, the child was already prepared for this. So maybe the child can even take the first mitigation I said, where you should keep quiet. Don't give that person the joy of seeing you miserable. So I think we should just prepare the child on cyberbullying. We don't have to deny them the devices. It's a digital world. Yes.
Natasha, should we have age restrictions when it comes to giving teenagers phones and internet? If I would ask also, should they have Wi-Fi or internet in their own rooms?
What I can say about that is we are in the 21st century, and things are going faster than we think. Personally, when I was a young child, things like this, they didn't exist. And all I can say is, he has talked about telling your children all these good things, tell your children that you are beautiful and all these things. But Ram, at the same time, this does not prevent this thing from happening. It will happen. Like I said, using the previous example with the Akinyi lady, Brenda Akinyi, there was somebody who came to her defense, and before she knew it, she had over 2 million comments ridiculing her and abusing her, saying that she is a con woman, if you remember that story. But before she could even act, all those comments that slid on the Facebook were too many. What we need is for us to enact laws. It does not mean because you tell your child that she is beautiful or, build the confidence that it won't happen. It will happen. 99% chance is that it will happen, because nowadays it is very hard to find a child without internet, without a phone, without Wi-Fi. We need to enact laws that are standing, that are still, and that if precautions must be taken, that if you do this, there must be a consequence. Yes?
But don't people know that if I post it on social media, someone will not respond as I want?
Does it?
What I can say?
Yeah. What if someone says that, why are you telling us your problems? Should we engage on social media so that we find solutions? Why can't we, as you said, go report them to the police? Why can't we go and report them to the necessary authorities?
Ram, I'm sure when somebody has taken or gone to the level of going to social media, they have probably gone to the responsible authorities. So what do you do when somebody is stranded? What is the fastest and quickest way? I mean, people, yes, you share it. People are sick, they have these different types of diseases. What do? They share it on social media. There is no way we can stop this. This is a generation, it's a digital generation. We cannot stop these things from happening. We have to know that internet is there and it is there to stay. We cannot, at some point, okay, you can tell your child, don't do this, the internet has this. But when you're not there, do you know the things that your child is doing? It is good to restrict them, yes. But what I'm trying to say is these things happen. But what is going to prevent them from exceeding the limit? We need to know that, people need to know that You cannot exceed at a certain limit. You cannot do this. People take pride and joy in giving misery to people. It happens. Yes, people have committed suicide. But as from this point on, what are we going to do? People need to know that there's a consequence that you must carry on your back. If at all you do these things, a caution must be taken, rules must be obeyed, laws must be there. People need to know.
What do you say?
In my opinion, I think somebody should also limit the amount of information is giving. Somebody should limit the information he or she is giving the social media, because if you expose your entire life on social media, you also make yourself vulnerable to cyberbullying. Like if you have a problem, you can share it in a WhatsApp group, like a church WhatsApp group. You're sure those ones can actually help you, or a colleague's WhatsApp group. But I feel telling the whole world about your problem might not give you a solution, but might make you vulnerable to these cyber bullies. And on exposing information, there is also a trend that I'll have to say, where we have people nowadays exchanging nude photos of each other, issues like that. So you see, when you start sharing information like that, that is what makes you vulnerable to cyberbullying. You can be blackmailed using these images that you're sharing. Yes.
Okay, that's a very good note, that we should ensure that we know where we post our information.
Yes.
We choose our platforms.
Yes.
Now, finally, because our time is up, final question. In terms of evidence, how then can we prove, as Natasha has been mentioning, that we may ensure that we follow the laws? How then can we ensure that we have evidence of cyberbullying once you've been bullied? How can we prove that it has happened? And by the way, if a member of parliament can be bullied, then what about the common manager? What then do we do? Just in a final word, say something.
Ram, I keep on saying this. The laws on cyberbullying are not clear. So therefore, evidence taken is not as solid.
What about if someone can keep an evidence of the chat and the messages and the photos?
Is
They're
that
not solid.
I don't think that is solid enough, because maybe you can say that in this era of screenshots, you can say somebody sent it to you. Do you really know the source? Where is the source coming from? We need to know. Again, I say this: laws must be put in place. That is the only way. After laws are put in place, laws defending cybercrime, then now maybe we can place evidence into.
Wonderful. How a final word, Silas? What do you say?
I think the only way to handle the evidence of cyberbullying is maybe have a few friends of yours witness what has been sent to you.
Witness.
Like you can, if it's Facebook, somebody has insulted you. Yes, you can call your friends. Yes, so that even when you're going to the police station, you go with people who can attest to this information that you received, this demeaning information. You can also use screenshots. I think,
but a friend can be an ally. What if you go with your friend and you are lying? And they say, yes.
But I think in this current world, nowadays I see even news can emerge from Twitter. I think social media has become more legitimate. It can be trusted. Nowadays we even have presidents tweeting. So even if you were to take a screenshot of something on Twitter, I think it can hold up in a court of law as evidence.
Wow. I would like to wrap it up at that point. The discussion can go on and on and on. We are talking about cyberbullying today, and it's all about finding ways to make sure that we are safe from people who go online, track us, people who go online and ensure that our lives are miserable, if I would say that. And tonight we were having a discussion with Natasha and Silas, and we were asking the question, if we are safe from cyberbullying. Keep the conversation coming in on our SMS line. 22162 is the number. 22162 is our SMS number, starting with the word news. As for me and the news desk, we would like to appreciate each and every person that ensure that today's news was a success. I would like to wish you a good night and ensure that you take care of yourself in everything you do. Keep safe. Have a good night and may God bless. My name is Ram Aguko.